stop telling yourself you're so stressed, you're so anxious, that you just don't have time and you're so busy and it's so hard. Stop fucking telling yourself those stories that get you nowhere. It's time to rewrite the scripts. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I be forgetting what day it is, but I just got back from vacation. We stayed at Hammocks Beach Resort in St. Augustine. My skin is reacting crazy because I didn't have my Curology. I know it could be a lot worse, but like, yeah, I didn't have my Curology, so I had to use different face wash, and I feel like it's making my skin oily. But anyway, we have to go get food and groceries and prepare. It is Tuesday, so I'm on track with my macros, but we have to go and re-up and get groceries and meal prep. As much as I don't really feel like doing it, I know that if it's not that, I'm gonna end up spending money eating out, and that is just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And I'm gonna show you guys how I personally go about planning my meals for the week, meal prepping, grocery shopping, all of that good stuff. I feel like it's something that a lot of us tend to get overwhelmed around or like overthink, and it's a very simple process when you follow a set of like operating procedures. What I mean by that is like step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you can tailor it to your lifestyle, your schedule, and what you find works best for you. Because at the end of the day, girl, like all of our brains work differently, so the way that I do it could be completely overwhelming for you. I find that with our clients, it's a very streamlined way of doing it. You kind of just have to tailor it to your lifestyle and what works for you. So with that being said, let's go into the first step, which is first identifying what are we even getting at the grocery store? What are we even eating this week? A big mistake I see when it comes to, you know, trying to be consistent with your nutrition is that people will wake up and they will have no idea what they're going to eat for that day. I know I've done it, and those are usually the days where I don't hit my macros, where I'm not on track, and it's very hard to be consistent because I don't really have anything prepped. Like if anything, it's like one meal, or I have food prepped and I'm not really like, it's not really appetizing for me, and I'm being a little bitch about it. But you gotta make sure that what you are actually prepping for the week is food that you actually want to eat. I feel like a lot of times when we go into meal prepping, we think the basic chicken, rice, sweet potatoes, you know, whatever those basic meals are, called those bro meals. They're very simple. Like, I'm not gonna bash those meals. Sometimes that is great, but sometimes you're in that mood to have something that isn't basic, that fits your macros. And that's the great thing about tracking your macros, is there's so much flexibility. So I'm gonna figure out like what I'm craving this week and also what my body needs, and then I'm gonna show you guys how I go about that. But you always have to have a plan, and planning is the #1 step to staying consistent. Okay, so the first step is actually thinking about what you're craving this week. What sounds good to eat this week? What is gonna be convenient and easy for you? Think about what you want for options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And then from there, we can break it down into our grocery list. And I'm writing all this down. So step 1, identify like what meals do you want for breakfast, like what meal options do you want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If choosing multiple options, I would say 2 options per meal of the day is a good way to have enough variety, because sometimes you're just not craving, like if you only meal prep one type of food for that entire week, you may not even want that, and then that can make you like want to eat out or do other things. So that's personally how I do it. But if you want to start small, you can start with just 1 breakfast option, 1 lunch option, 1 dinner option, and sometimes you can even switch your lunch and dinners, like swap them, and like that, you know, tricks your brain into thinking you're being more creative. But everybody's different. So first, I'm gonna figure out what do I want this week? What sounds good? What does my body need? I'm gonna say for breakfast ideas, what sounds good to me this week is honestly like oat bowls. Like I feel like my gut health is so shitty right now from traveling and just eating on the road and basically just indulging, right? Like I ate pretty good, but so for breakfast, I feel like I'm craving like just like a nourishing, high protein breakfast. So I don't mind making eggs and turkey bacon, but what I do know is that I train early, and usually what works for me is having a calorie dense pre or post workout shake at around like 9 a.m. is like that sweet spot to have my shake. And that shake is not just gonna be like protein powder for me. It's gonna be like protein powder, half a banana, you know, some peanut butter, oats. Like I make it, like I said, like a very balanced shake with, it has carbs, fat, and protein. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to like drink my calories, so that way my appetite, because having eggs at 9 in the morning just isn't gonna happen. Like I will literally yak like this video if you motherfucking agree and you resonate. So what I like to do is I like to have my like eggs like breakfast at around 12, so that way I'm getting in 2 meals, and that really works for me. So for breakfast ideas, obviously I'm going to need my protein powder, which I have. So we're gonna need bananas, we have peanut butter, we have oats, so we're good there. I also want oat bowls, so like oats with like berries and peanut butter. I also feel like is a good option for me because I'm like craving that, like, you know, filling warm oats. Ooh, like maybe like chocolate peanut butter oats. Oh my god, that sounds so fucking gas. Okay, so chocolate PB oats. So with that, I know what I'll need. Workout shake, my chocolate peanut butter oats. We don't need eggs, we do need turkey bacon, because what I'm gonna have is like oats with like 2 eggs, some egg whites, and then 2 slices of Godshall's turkey bacon. I say Godshall's because there's a lot of turkey bacon that is really cheap, has 2 grams of protein, and it's not even worth it. But the Godshall's brand is affordable. It you know, it has enough turkey bacon slices. Like some of the turkey bacon literally has like 4 slices and it's like $8, which is ridiculous. But yeah, moving on, that's what I'm gonna have. So chocolate peanut butter oats with a side of eggs. Lunch ideas, what sounds good for lunch this week? I feel like something convenient. I'm like thinking like tuna sandwiches. Like I'm kind of feeling like sandwiches this week. So I don't know about tuna. Huh, what kind of sandwich? Let me think about it. Now, if you're struggling to come up with ideas, if you're watching this and you're like, how did she do that? Like, I can't just come up with meals like that. Guys, I didn't just get like this out of nowhere. Like, in the beginning, I literally stopped there cooking and coming up with meals. But something that really helps me kind of get ideas for meals is Pinterest. So I actually have a Pinterest board literally for like food and like meal prep ideas and just like things I'm craving and trying to recreate them at home and make them macro friendly. Foodie board. And as you can see, it's literally like all different types of food. Oh my god, looks so gas. And it kind of like allows you to identify like what you're craving, what feels good. And yeah, just keep the meal simple. So now that I'm looking at this, my lunch ideas are definitely going. So, ooh, sweet potatoes, roasted green beans, and steak. Oh my god, that sounds so good. I got that from that, and I've had that before. Oh fuck yeah. So I'm gonna do steak, sweet potato, chickpea bowl with roasted broccoli. Let's do broccoli. That sounds gas. High in fiber, high in protein, healthy fats. That sounds so good. And I could definitely do that for lunch or dinner. And then dinner, let's just keep it simple and do chicken, rice, beans, and side salad. We'll do a side salad for our micronutrients. And that way I can swap. And what I'll do is, again, I like to have variety and like high protein, quick things I can make because I'm busy and I tend to just like work myself, and like if things aren't easy to make, then I won't do it. So maybe I'm thinking like homemade Lunchables. That just came to my mind. Homemade Lunchables, that could be like for like a high protein snack. So with that being said, guys, this is pretty much what I have. So for breakfast options, I have my pre-workout shake, which I'll have it around 9 a.m. My chocolate peanut butter oats with eggs and turkey bacon. I also have waffles that I have in my freezer. I like to have like frozen things on hand in case I change my mind. Like what if I don't feel like having oats that day? Ultimately, if that's what you prepped, I encourage you to just eat it. Like just take the L, and like you'll enjoy it once you start to eat it if you cook it right. But I like to have other like perishables on hand. in case I change my mind, right? Like I like to have pasta on hand. So I have, you know, chicken prepped, but I don't want rice. I can do pasta. Like have perishables on hand so that way you can swap it out. Like bread, you know, waffles, you know, oats, like dry carbs that you can have on hand or frozen ones. And then for lunch, we'll have steak, sweet potato, chickpea bowl with roasted broccoli. Dinner, chicken, rice, and beans with side salad. And high protein snack options, we have homemade Lunchables, 25-gram protein ratio, the yogurts, and 42 gram Fairlife protein shakes. I shop for all those perishables at Walmart, and I get all my protein and produce from Publix. Because I'm just big on like my meat having good quality and being well sourced. So to me, I see it as an investment, and I could equally spend just as much money on eating out in DoorDash. So, and I have. So now that we have the meal options that we have for this week, we want to break that down into a grocery list, okay? So now I'm just gonna break it down into protein, carbs, and fats from those meals, and I make it super easy. Okay, so for breakfast, obviously we have our pre-workout shake. I already know that I have, and guys, you don't have to do this off the top of your head. It's a lot easier to go into your kitchen, write down what you need, and then go from there, but I already know from the top of my head. So protein, we already have chicken breast. We need more of that. For the pre-workout shake, we have oats, we have peanut butter, we have honey. I just need bananas. Then we need dark chocolate squares for the oats. Yeah, I'm just writing this all down. All right, so I wrote down my grocery list. I have everything that I need. And now I am going to go get those groceries, and we are going to prep tonight. So really excited to do this, and I'm glad I'm filming this because it's giving me the accountability that I need, and I'm happy to share this value for you guys. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. I'll be happy to answer. And yeah, the next step after getting my groceries is then pre-tracking my meals and creating like my meal plan, actually like plugging that into my FitnessPal, which I feel like a lot of people, that's the part that they get really confused on and overwhelmed, and they feel like they need to know all this math, and it's really not that difficult. I'm gonna show you exactly my thought process when logging and go from there. So let's get it. Can you tell I love pink? And my camera case is pink too. Beautiful day. All right, we're here. Step tip to get in more steps: park as far as you can, or at least just far enough from the door, and you'll get in more steps. Guys, my skin, like I literally don't know what's going on. Like I'm breaking out, but I'm just not gonna bring my focus on it. It's just very weird for me because I never usually break out like that, but whatever. Okay, now this looks super random, don't laugh at me, but it's very high in protein, high in carbs, and this is going to be a perfect snack for me. So I just wanted to show this. And yeah, it's very satiating. It's gonna help me control my appetite because I have protein and fats. We have high protein and some sodium. We've got high protein, some fats, carbs, and then we've got some more healthy fats here. Okay, so I actually took some time to work a little bit, but I'm gonna do a little bit of a grocery haul. I already made myself a cheese board, as you know. So we have, let me unpack everything first. Okay, so I kind of separated everything out, but essentially these are the protein sources that I got. I love to have a rotisserie chicken on hand when I haven't prepped, and like maybe I'm starting the week without prep, so I like to get things that I don't have to cook. But I actually swapped out the steak for pork because the steak was like $20, and yeah, that's literally gonna last us nothing. And this was $7, and I got all this pork. And what I'm gonna do is, instead of the steak sweet potato bowl, I'm like Instead of the steak sweet potato bowl, I'm going to make pork, mashed potatoes, and roasted green beans. That's gonna be fire. And then I also got chicken breast, but I also got chicken thigh. What I like to do is, because chicken thigh has more like fats, is I like to mix the chicken breast with the chicken thigh. That should taste really good. These are super clutch. It's 25 grams of protein in this yogurt, and the yogurt tastes good. I usually like to pair this with like cinnamon toast crunch and like almond butter, and it's so gas. Strawberries. We've got our dark chocolates for our oats, and the cheese boards. We've got the sharp cheddar. This literally, guys, this has, for one cheese stick, 6 grams of protein and 4 grams of fat. And then if you pair it with like ham or turkey, I found the macros are really good. So for 2 ounces of ham, it's only 2.5 grams of fat and 10 grams of protein. Guys, that's literally so easy, such an easy way to get in protein without feeling full. Then we've got like these little baby bananas. I never had these, but I kind of like wanted to get them. And that is it for our protein sources. I'm gonna basically be making potatoes with that. We already have rice, we already have beans, and I'm gonna be roasting these green beans. This charcuterie board is for Secret Santa tomorrow with the girls, so really excited about that. And yeah, time to meal prep. I asked my boo, my partner, if he would help me with meal prepping, because I have a lot of work to do and I have to get it done today. Like literally tomorrow is jam-packed. I have to get it done today. And it's around like 3 to 4 hours of work, and it is already, what time is it? It's already 6:11. So what I'm gonna do is that the key to meal prepping, guys, is multitasking, okay? Literally, you can knock out all the food you have to cook with doing very minimal active work within 1 hour. I promise you, it should not be taking you 2, 3, 4 hours. Dragging, like, no, it shouldn't be feeling like that. So when I say multitasking, and I mentioned this in other videos, it'll look like this. Okay, so we're making mashed potatoes, roasted green beans, pork, chicken, and also rice and beans. So all of that we're cooking tonight. That feels like a lot, right? Anybody would feel really, really overwhelmed thinking about it, right? But ultimately, all I'm doing is putting these in the boiling, putting these to boil, okay? Cutting them up, putting them to boil. I'm putting the green beans in the oven. You're grilling. What I like to do is I like to grill 2 things at once. Like, I don't like to use one pan for all the meat I have to prep, because 1, it ruins the pan, and 2, it takes 10 million times longer. So what I like to do is I'll literally have 2 pans up with like 3 pieces of chicken on each, and boom, after 1 round, my chicken's prepped for the week. Then I go ahead and do the same thing with the pork, right? Literally, it is way less work when you actually do it and you multitask and you have multiple things going on at once, versus like going super slow, not multitasking, going on your phone every second. Like, that's what's gonna be a whole night thing. And yeah, so I asked my partner for help, because again, I don't have time today and I do want to be prepared for this week. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these to boil now. I'm gonna put the green beans in the oven now, and then all he has to do is prep the meat, okay? For a really long time, guys, I felt hesitant to ask my partner for support, especially with things like cooking and things like that. But like, ultimately, I feel like we're a team and I can't do it all on my own, guys. So I think that that is a huge area of opportunity for growth. If you're somebody who struggles to receive support or receive help, you know, maybe you feel like that's your role, or you're supposed to be in control of that, or you don't need people's help and you can do it on your own, like wherever that comes from, be open to receiving help. Because if I didn't ask my partner for help, I most likely would not be able to cook everything tonight and not be prepared for the rest of the week. And yeah, it's just one of those things where you have to kind of just step outside of yourself and figure out ways to make it happen. So I'm gonna stop wasting time here talking. I'm gonna put these to boil, put the green beans to roast, and then Bae can do the rest. And I'll do the rice and all of that also. So I'll have the rice in the rice cooker. You see what I'm saying? The rice in the rice cooker while I'm roasting. So everything is going to be going on at once. and life is easy. I got the potatoes ready to boil, green beans here. I put the oven on 400 degrees to preheat. And what I like to do, since this is dispensed differently, I like to spray on my green beans, lemon pepper seasoning, and I feel like this would be really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this as well. Next thing I'm gonna do is put the rice in the rice cooker, and then now all we have to make is the protein and the side salads. And if you don't have a rice cooker, guys, you can just put that shit to boil after. But I highly recommend investing in things like saving up for things like an air fryer, you know, nice pans, you know, a rice cooker, because it's just gonna make meal prepping so much easier. I personally like to do around 3 cups of rice and 4 cups of water. That's usually enough for me and my partner for the entire week. Okay, so we've got the rice cooker on, we've got the potatoes boiling, we've got the green beans roasting. All we have to do is make the protein and we good. Some other meal prepping tips to keep your food fresh. I recommend, again, investing in like glass Tupperware. I find that it keeps the food, especially the protein and the veggies, so much more fresh than using plastic Tupperware. It's also better for the earth, it's more sustainable. Yes, it's a little bit more upfront, maybe like $5–10 bucks more, but it lasts you forever. So that's a good way to think about it. And yeah, it's just a huge difference. And just making sure that you're storing things. I really want to save up for like the storage bins that I can use for the kitchen. Like my literal goal in life, I'm gonna be working towards this in 2023, is like organization, cleanliness, and just order in all aspects of my life. So all that extra energy can go towards my passions and goals. Okay, now it's time to get some work done, and then I will show you guys what meal prep looks like at the end.
Hey.
Okay, so Bae whipped up the grilled chicken. It looks good. Thank you so much, baby. Seriously. We got the rice. We got the green beans that I low-key overcooked because I fucking forgot to take them out. Now it's time to make the mashed potato. Yummy. I put 1.5 tablespoons of this garlic butter, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, and this is for meal prep. All right, y'all, we got our dinner. It looks good. Got some mashed potatoes, some pork tenderloin, and some roasted green beans. Okay, so we are meal prepped and ready for the week. We've got our mashed potatoes. I like to put a sticky note so that way I know what it is. I find that I would literally leave them unattended if I didn't know what was in there. Then we've got chicken and pork, and then we've got our rice under here, and then we have our green beans in here. There's 2 different types you can kind of go about meal prepping. You can either batch cook your macronutrients, or you can prep your meals ahead of time, already ready to eat and ready to go. So the last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up this vlog is how to manage overwhelm when it... Minnie, what? But yeah, managing overwhelm, okay? So a lot of times when it comes to nutrition, cooking, prepping, groceries, a lot of the times we end up just neglecting it, just not doing it, just falling into self-sabotage because we are just overwhelming ourselves in our mind with how much work it takes, right? Now, the thing is, guys, if you want it to become a habit, you have to put it into practice. So one of the skills that you have to learn in order to manage that overwhelm is resilience, right? And learning to not, and this is a muscle that is built over time, right? Through constant practice and never giving up on yourself, is basically just learning how to make decisions not based off of how you feel, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna ever feel like cooking. You're not gonna feel like planning your meals for the week. You'll rarely be motivated. But if you're only relying on when you're motivated, then you're really only never going to be being able to stay consistent and get those results that you really want, okay? Whether that's physical results on top of, you know, lifestyle changes and just wanting to be the type of person who can prep and like have their nutrition on point, right? Another thing as well is don't be afraid to use things like frozen meals or, you know, convenience items like pre-cooked rice or rotisserie chicken or, you know, deli meats and tuna. And there's so many ways to go about having meals prepared if you value convenience and like cooking is just not your thing. There's so many ways to go about meal prepping without having to cook so much of those foods. Another tip for managing overwhelm is being aware of the stories and the thoughts that you are repeating to yourself and telling yourself. If you're constantly telling yourself throughout the process, this is so hard, oh my God, this is so much work, oh my God, this is so much work, oh my God, blah, 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 and you're constantly complaining and talking about all the problems, it's gonna be very hard to focus on the solutions, and that will be whatever you were thinking and you're allowing those thoughts to repeat itself is what is going to be shown to you in your reality. Learn to tell yourself, okay, this is hard, but this is new. This is a skill that I'm building, right? Having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset is going to take you the lengths, okay? So telling yourself, okay, how can I make this process easier for myself? Who can I ask for help in order to make this easier for myself? Help or support, whether it's a family member, a coach, a friend, whoever, right? And be creative, get creative with it. And lastly, a big part of managing overwhelm is just staying organized in general. If your house is cluttered and messy, if you are like all over the place in your finances, if you're, you know, not organized and not taking care of yourself, it's gonna feel 10 times more stressful and it's just gonna feel like another thing on your plate. So start with filling your cup up first and make it a priority. Meal prepping and the gym and all of that is a priority because it's a form of filling your cup up first. So that way you can show up at your best self in all the other areas in your life, okay? Stop telling yourself you're so stressed, you're so anxious, that you just don't have time and you're so busy and it's so hard. Stop fucking telling yourself those stories that get you nowhere. It's time to rewrite the script. So those are my main basic tips for managing overwhelm. You know, if you feel like you just can't do it on your own, like you've tried multiple times and you just always end up falling off track, I highly recommend looking into hiring a coach or joining a one-on-one coaching program. Plug, you can apply for a one-on-one coaching program with the link in our bio. We help women lose fat, build muscle, and create sustainable lifestyle changes within their life so that way they can, you know, become in alignment with their highest selves, reach their dream body and lifestyle, and bring those things into fruition. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to stop the vlog here. If this helped, make sure to like, save, share, and I'll see you in the next one.